Hello, Internet. I'm Matt.
And I'm Monster Punter.
And this is the Parallax Scrolling Podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. And before we go too crazy into anything else, I just want to take an actual heartfelt moment and say thank you to everybody who watched our Toriyama tribute, which was the last video, and actually responding. That was, that was heartwarming to know that it wasn't just us that was affected, in our community. It was a big deal.
Indeed.
Yeah. And if you couldn't tell, Monster and I both had a really hard time going through that episode.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
Yep. And we still will. It's time heals all wounds, but man, I'm tired of getting wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyhow, on to bigger, brighter news. We actually have something that we both have in common that we can talk about this week, starting off, about what we played.
Oh.
We both did the beginning of Dead Island 2.
We did.
Yeah. And who'd you said you picked the Southern girl?
Yeah, I can't remember her name all of a sudden because I'm terrible with names.
Is it the one with blue hair?
But yeah, she has like colored hair.
Yeah, that Danny, I think it is.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
I picked Rick or Ryan, the fireman, and I think after looking at his cosplay costumes, he's not a real fireman.
Yes, I've learned that he's not. He is something else. Yes.
Uh-huh. He works for the money. We'll just say that.
Yes, indeed.
I didn't realize it. But
go ahead.
I didn't realize it because I was like, oh, he's a fireman, but he's reluctant. He's a reluctant hero. Okay, it might be cool to play him. And then I look at the costumes. I'm like, oh. Especially when you look at the names,
And I picked Danny only because apparently I'm supposed to get explosions when I charge my attack, and I want explosions.
Actually, the reason I picked Ryan is not only is he like a little tougher, but his ability is when he knocks zombies down. Not when he kills them. When he knocks them down, he gets healed.
Yeah, that did look really appealing, but explosions. Anyway.
Explosions! Sorry. My AC/DC's bad here.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, still, I'm going to get to Dealfield soon. Found out that my Game Pass renewed without me saying so I have it a little bit longer, but I do want to get to Dealfield Chronicles soon.
All I'm saying is that all I want my Dead Island experience to be is a Michael Bay movie.
Just can't let it go. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of the big stuff in... Oh, actually, we should talk about Monster Hunter Now.
Yeah, I guess so.
So Monster Hunter Now had another big update, and they've added charge blades and switch axes.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to unlock switch axes. I unlocked charge blade. And they added two new monsters, both from Monster Hunter World. So you can tell that all the monsters, for now, I think, are at least going to be from that game.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for Basil Goose to show up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's going to be just explosion. You want explosions? There you go. They're going to happen all over your phone.
I want to do the explosions, not be exploded.
Oh, well, too bad. But yeah, it's still a decent game. It's not like something to like commit a ton of time to, even though it's good for me with my brain. I could just kind of like, hey, let me hunt a monster nearby real quick and then just go back to doing stuff. So it's helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you haven't checked out Monster Hunter Now, please do. I don't know when the Zenogre quest will come back. Hopefully it will, because I was literally 2 steps away from completing it. But yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen. So I'm trying to wrap up everything else now.
All right.
You got any other games or anything you've played at this point?
What else did I play this week? I need to think about it a little bit. I've been watching Naruto practically the whole time, trying to get through Naruto Shippuden.
So no video games for the foreseeable future is what you're saying.
I'm further along than you would think in that series, so maybe sooner rather than later.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, so that sticking with our format, because I'm trying to develop a format because it helps me and hopefully it helps you too. Comments, and like I said, thank you so much for the Toriyama tribute comments. Both Tom and that one dude, I read those. That was very, very sweet sentiments. Thank you. But going back to the episode before, when we were actually going to record an actual normal episode before the news broke, that one dude, again, he responded. This is what he said. Thanks for the shout out in the episode this week. You're welcome. We're going to keep doing it as long as you keep commenting. Hint, hint to all the other listeners. I heard Monster talk about fighting games in a couple of episodes. So I have a question relating to fighting games. What is your favorite super move from a fighting game? Now, I don't know. I kind of know yours. I know yours, but I had to really. Sure? Yeah, I really had to think about it though, because, is it a finishing move or is it a super move? Like, what constitutes the question here? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's different levels of super too. I mean, we can get into many different things.
That's true.
So, just all-time favorite super move is Buster Wolf.
Called it.
I figured, but I had
let's
to.
Let's put it this way. You want to know how I know, folks, that his favorite move is Buster Wolf? In Guild Wars, the MMO Guild Wars, we got together with a couple of friends and we literally created a guild called Buster Wolf. And when you created a guild in that game, you had to give it a 4-letter nickname in front of the guild name. It appeared in brackets.
Before he gets to it, pure brilliance, people. Pure brilliance.
Okay, yes.
You're about to hear it.
So, Terry's move from Fatal Fury, from King of Fighters, he starts it off by saying, "Are you okay, Buster Wolf?" Like he's asking the question. So this genius put the letter R, the letter U, letter O, the letter K as our guild name for Buster Wolf. And the prerequisites for getting into the guild were if you could recognize the joke or the meaning behind it, you got in. So that's how I knew it was yours.
Pure brilliance, by the way. I still love that name to this day for how that worked out. It's great.
Yeah. No, the fact that it did is just, it was pretty brilliant. I'll give you that one.
But that Terry's my favorite fighting game character, so it is that Buster Wolf is my favorite fighting game move. Speaking of fighting games, though.
Okay, before you go forward, can I answer the question?
Sure, go for it.
Yay! So I kind of give a twofold answer, only because I like a lot of different fighting game moves. For example, even though it's not my favorite, but Lo Wayne from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Oh gosh, you're gonna go recent here, huh?
Yeah, I am. Well, when his brothers pick him up on his shoulders and he's a moving battle fortress, that's pretty awesome. Well, and this is from the older version too. He had that move in the older version too. So
yeah. But I mean, it's a pretty recent game,
right? But I wouldn't say that's my favorite. My favorite finisher, and I gotta say it like this, comes from one Bang Shishigami from the Blaze Blue series, where not only does he have a
called this. I really should have called this.
You really should have. Not only does the man have a theme song playing during the event, But the man flies through the air to this music and punches a giant nail through his opponent.
Yep.
It's awesome. I would say
from BlazBlue. Yeah.
Blaze Blue, yes.
BlazBlue, Blaze Blue.
Yeah. Well, you like saying BlazBlue because there's no E and it makes you like it triggers your brain in some way.
I don't know.
But I would also say I love super combos or super moves that are multiple hit moves whenever you activate them. For example, Bloody Roar. Yeah, I pulled that one out of nowhere, didn't I? But Bloody Roar, when the tiger guy, I think his name is Shenlong. When Shenlong does his he pops this stance and then he just proceeds to just repeatedly wail his fist into the midsection of his opponent. It's like, oh, that's satisfying. And I have a story to add to this effect. So, my favorite super move, I would say, at least right now, not a finishing move, but a super move, belongs to Chip from Guilty Gear. And what it is he's a ninja with a giant blade, and he kind of like cuts across his opponent multiple times, and then appears above them in the air and slashes downwards to kind of send them to the ground. Now, I believe this is Guilty Gear, the second Guilty Gear. The final boss of that game is a Yeti. All right? This is big man. And the only thing you can hit on him to hurt him is his noggin. And this fight is ridiculous. Of course, all SNK final boss fights are ridiculous. They're meant
Indeed.
to be quarter eaters, all of them. And so I was playing on my PS2, and I just kept fighting. And I kept losing. I think I played like 17 to 20 times against this one guy. Always pick and chip.
Mm-hmm.
First round, I managed to pull a win off. Second round, he barely beats me. The third round, the timer is actually getting towards the end. Like it's about to time out. I have a full super bar. He has a smidge of health left. I have a smidge of health left. He goes in for a move, and I manage to activate my super. I disappear from his attack. I zip across him multiple times. None of the hits, they're all body shots, so they don't do any damage. And then I appear above him, and I down spike, and it's the killing shot.
Nice.
So satisfying. Uber satisfying.
I have...
yeah.
I have a couple honorable mentions.
Yes, please.
The Maiden Masher is a classic.
Good old Yori.
Yeah, good old Iori. If you have a chance to look at the Maiden Masher online, especially like the extended one, it's I mean, I'm usually not into like
Demon's Rage is so overrated. Give me Maiden Masher.
Yeah, Maiden Masher is man, Maiden Masher 100 times out of 10 over that. And then the second one, I can't remember who it is, but in Soul Calibur 5, there's the boss, and his super move just has a big chair that comes down from the sky, smashes the guy. He sits on it. Yeah. Oh, that one was great too.
I will also throw out. It's X-Men versus Street Fighter? I think it's X-Men versus Street Fighter. M. Bison. One of his super moves is Knee Press Nightmare, where he uses his psycho powers to grand extremes and makes a clone of himself that teleports above him, and then the two of them start doing knee presses, where he like basically flips towards his opponent, but they're basically sending waves of himself.
Yeah,
like a projectile attack. The man turned himself into a projectile. I got to give him props. I got to give him props for that one.
Psycho
that was
Crusher
awesome.
has always been a self-projectile, really.
I don't consider that a projectile. I'll be honest. That's argument for a different time. Anyways, as you can tell, we both have a lot of like super moves. We love fighting games, and this is an awesome question. Please tell us in the comments, what are your super moves? What are your favorite super moves? Doesn't matter what the game is. I want to know.
So, speaking of fighting games, though.
Yes. Now we can go into this.
Today, I saw videos for Fatal Fury City of Wolves. Oh my goodness.
You got all tingly.
I think it looks amazing. It looks,
of course it does,
great. And it has my favorite version of Terry in it. The old man Terry with the bomber jacket.
I was going to say, of course, you remember Garou Mark of the Wolves. That's,
oh, yeah,
again, where your favorite version of Terry comes from. So, but comparing the graphics from Mark of the Wolves to King of Fighters to even Fatal Fury at that point, it's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it really was.
So why, like, I'm not surprised that this game is going to be amazing.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. And if you guys have a chance to go look at some videos for it, take a look at some videos. I'm telling you,
have they announced the release date?
Early 2025.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that they have like 5 characters already, and people have been trying them, like some of the streamers and things like that.
Is Rock one of them?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
and if you
Terry
watch
and
the
Rock.
intro, I'm not going to spoil it, but the main reveal, watch till the very end.
Okay.
It was one of those like, huh, kind of things.
Is it Joe Higashi?
No.
Dang.
No, but one of the players they do show, or characters they do show, looks like they are a trainee of Joe Higashi, probably.
Oh, nice.
So you'll see. You'll see.
So yeah, quick callback to the earlier question. You want a cool super move? Joe Higashi mooning his opponents. That's a great super move.
That's not exactly a super move, but
it's super in my eyes.
Capcom vs SNK 2, you guys can see all of Joe's butt as much as you choose. So,
I love Joe. I love Joe.
Joe is great too.
Joe is awesome. Speaking of release dates, you know what comes out this week, and will probably come out before this episode goes up. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh, that's right. Dragon's Dogma 2. Too many good games coming out, man.
I know, it's not fair. It's not fair. Like, you kids. Can I pull the old man on the porch here for a second? You kids don't know how good you got it. With all these great games constantly coming out every year. When I was a kid, our games, we took them and we liked them. Not because they were good, but because it's what we had.
Yeah.
We suffered. We suffered
because we got games at Christmas time, and they were a crapshoot because your parents picked them up, and that's the way it was. You just played what you had.
And you can never tell me we didn't suffer. I had X-Men for the Nintendo that was made by LJN. That game is awful.
Ah, good old LJN.
I had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Don't ever come at me with your, I got a bad game. Shut up.
Speaking of bad games.
Triggered. I'm triggered.
Speaking of bad games, my phone is spying on me. It recommended me Faxanadu videos. I am terribly disappointed in my phone.
I love your phone. Oh, that's so
I
great.
absolutely hate that I had gotten. Oh, man.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I love it so much.
Words cannot explain what I felt when I saw that as a recommendation.
Yeah.
I looked immediately to make sure. I'm like, is YouTube using my mic? It says it's not, but I don't think I believe it.
Oh, it's too good. It's just too good, man. I'm giddy. I'm giddy with that news.
Let me get on to some other news here.
Yeah, let's get on some news here. Real quick, I want to address this one super quick. The International Game Developers Association is mentioned how they're deeply concerned about increased harassment of marginalized devs in a new statement that's come out today, I believe. I'm just gonna cut this one real quick. Harassment's not good. Period. Like, for whatever reason, you have no right to harass someone else. So just don't. I expect, I don't expect anybody in our community to behave like that. But I'm just saying, people need to understand, harassment's not okay. Never okay.
And if you're not sure if it will offend somebody, you're probably better off just keeping your mouth shut.
Right. Or, worst case scenario, if you happen to know somebody who can take the guff, or does not get easily offended, ask them if it's okay. They'll let you know. Somebody you trust. But don't just put it out there into the ether. Don't put it into the internet. Internet's a dangerous place to make blank statements about stuff.
Yeah.
Like saying Faxanadu sucks.
Faxanadu certainly sucks.
That does not. It is amazing. Anyways, we have news stories all over the place. Why don't you want to start us off?
Yes. So, a couple weeks ago or so, the expansion for Elden Ring was announced. Now, it's not that we're going to be talking about there being an expansion. It's a little bit older news and everybody knows about it. But the price of the expansion, at least in some circles I'm in, is controversial, shall we say.
Not to me.
So here's the thing. It's $40 for the expansion, or $50 if you want the deluxe expansion.
But doesn't the deluxe expansion also come with the main game?
The deluxe expansion.
I mean, you know better than I would, yeah.
Let me see here. I'm looking at the Steam page right now. And Shadow of the Erdtree Premium Bundle comes with let's see here. I don't see it here.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's just the expansion. Yeah.
Okay.
So $40, is that reasonable for an expansion? I guess it depends on how much you're getting. I hear that this one is going to be as big as the original game. So you could, in theory, I mean, if you're going to get another... I got like 100 hours out of it. So if you're going to get another 100 hours out of it, I mean...
It's absolutely worth the deal then.
Yeah, I mean, assuming it's as good as the main game, which
right.
I guess I don't have any reason to doubt that right now. I guess it really depends on how much it goes into it. I know that there are people out there that if an expansion is more than, say, $15, $20, they have no interest whatsoever. And to them, I say, fine. Eventually, they will come down in price, and you will get to experience it.
Maybe.
No, it will.
I'm being cynic.
They'll go on sale at some point.
By the way, I found it. The Shadow of the Erdtree Premium Bundle comes with the expansion.
Yeah.
And the digital art book and soundtrack.
Yeah, see, not the original game, so.
Right. So, okay. But, can I throw one in there?
What's that?
Tales of Arise.
Tales of Arise DLC was $30. I don't regret buying it and do plan to play it.
Yeah, and from what we've heard, it's pretty much an entire new game.
Yeah.
With your continuing characters. That's it. So this doesn't like phase me in any way. Like, oh, Shadow of the Erdtree. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a whole nother experience, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, Tales of Arise, number 2 Tales game in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
but
then,
so
yeah.
the price of these being so high doesn't faze me. Now, if this was something like, let's say Street Fighter, where, hey, here's a new character, he's $40, we got beef.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but again, perspective is everything, and everyone's got their own views, and you know.
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, I see this as being appropriate.
Okay.
So, and look forward to that coming out towards June 20th, for those who haven't heard about that yet.
So
Shout out. Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, other than that, wanted to do a quick discussion about what's coming out the second half of March for Game Pass. 'Cause it's kind of a big deal.
And that is?
Well, so here's the list, and you tell me how you feel about each of these, right?
Okay.
Lightyear Frontier.
Don't know it.
It's a robot sim game. Like you grow farm and stuff.
Oh, farming sim?
Yeah, it's a survival game with robots.
Yeah, pass.
And mechs. Okay. MLB The Show 24.
You know what? I hear it's a good baseball game, so if you people like baseball, definitely give it a shot.
Cool. The Quarry.
That I actually somewhat interested in.
Did you play the other ones?
I do remember playing Until Dawn.
Okay. So, yeah. So The Quarry's coming out. Evil West.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I played that one before. I can't remember. I'll have to look at it again.
Yeah, it's on PSN. They gave it away as a free game 1 month, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't what I wanted. Like it's in the Wild West. It deals with monsters and zombies and like all the creatures of the night. Cool, but it would have done better as a first person shooter.
Possibly.
It just would have, in my opinion. Terra Invicta only comes out for PC.
Don't know that one.
I believe it's like Sid Meier's.
Oh, you know what? Is that the one where they...
Yeah.
Okay, I might actually give that one a try.
Okay, yeah, it's only for PC, so make sure your PC Ultimate is up. Diablo 4.
Okay.
That's finally coming out. So it's like that's like the big news of the release, Diablo 4.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Wheels Unleashed 2.
I had no clue about racing games, but
it's a racing game, but it's a Hot Wheels racing game, so it's a little more. I don't know how to explain it.
If it's like Micro Machines, where like little cars and like people's rooms and stuff like that, that could be potentially cool.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it's going to be more, and I think they had a track editor. I can't remember. Open Roads. I don't know which one this one is.
Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I don't. Oh, looks like it might be like a walkie simulator. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. So not interested. Ark Survival Ascended.
No.
Comes out April 1st.
No.
Sure, you don't want to like collect dinosaurs and your own poop.
I understand why people like it. Enjoy playing it.
Yeah. F123.
I've heard the F1 series is good, so probably worth a try if you like racing.
And then, surprised this one's on here, unless the first one is already on there. I'm not sure, or was on there. Super Hot Mind Control Delete.
I've heard good things about Super Hot.
Dude, I have Super Hot. I love Super Hot.
There you go.
And actually, that'll lead me into something else in a second. But the games that are leaving: Hot Wheels Unleashed 1.
Okay.
Infinite Guitars, I have no idea, and MLB The Show 23. So 2 of those make sense.
Yeah.
Like we're getting rid of them for the sequels. So I just learned recently that Steam is going to start letting people family share.
Oh, yeah?
With up to 5 other people. So if you want to check out Super Hot, my dude, you get my family plan.
Maybe I'll just play the Xbox one.
Well, the Super Hot Mind Control Delete is actually a sequel.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so either way, eventually. I mean, you can still play it and have no clue what's going on, but like they do behave differently.
Gotcha.
So, anyhow, that's it in the big releases of that. I really have. I got 2 more stories. What do you got?
Let's go for it. I'll do mine last.
Okay. So this one was actually sent to me on Discord through some friends of mine. Warner Brothers is now erasing games as it plans to delist Adult Swim published titles.
Yep.
Indie devs are being told that their games will be retired from Steam and console stores. And guess what? That also means that they're not gonna they don't get it back. The developers aren't gonna get their games back. Some people are already releasing them on their websites for free. Let's see. Small radios, big televisions is now being available to download for free. Let's see what else. I'm just kind of skimming over the whole thing. But yeah, what do you think about this?
Well,
What do you think about this idea?
We've had this conversation in the past, and I continue to agree with myself.
Yeah.
I just think that it's terrible what happens with these games. I'm assuming that you can still download the game if you've purchased it at a later date. It's just there won't be no new purchases, at least. If the people who've purchased it can't download it again, then it's a complete travesty. I think at the end of the day, piracy is going to be what preserves gaming in general. I mean, there's no other recourse. What do you have if the owner of the IP won't make their game available to play? What other recourse do you have? You really don't have anything. And granted, technically speaking, from a legal standpoint, they own that IP, and it's their choice to do what they want. So if you don't want to sell it, then in their eyes, you shouldn't be playing it. But still, I mean, I just can't buy that.
Yeah. So basically, one of the developers, Michael Molinari, he released Sound Dodger Plus through Adult Swim Games in 2013. And so he's been told by Warner Brothers he's got to remove his game within 60 days. And he says, I don't know if they're delisting or deleting it. I played with them to transfer ownership to my company as they still retain all IP and game rights. And they rejected the request. He was told that they can republish the game onto Steam as long as they remove any mention of Adult Swim games. So something's going on with Adult Swim games. I kind of wonder about that too. That might be a whole nother issue. But he said that doing that would erase all my wish lists, reviews, community guides, and forum discussions, along with not allowing new and old owners of the game to compare achievements and trading cards. Yeah, it's a mess. Why would you do this?
And this is what licensing gets you. I mean,
right.
In the old school world of physical games, I mean, they just wouldn't sell the game anymore. And whoever had it, they could trade it amongst themselves or sell it amongst themselves or something like that. But in this digital age, where you have a license and it's hard to share. I know you just mentioned, the family plan for Steam, but I don't think that's an adequate solution for this problem.
Oh, no. I mean, and honestly, all of this is on Warner Brothers. Something's going on at WB that they're not talking about. But the other thing to mention is, so they're going to delist. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to delete. And I thought that was kind of weird, but I actually have seen a TikTok creator recently who has mentioned that, hey, here's some games I found the game IDs for, and I'll post them to you, and so you can search for these games on Steam and still buy them.
Oh,
but it's just they're being delisted, so you can't find you just can't search and find it naturally. You have to know the game ID and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, sounds like a major headache, and I think that's what they're planning. But
I guess we'll see.
You know what? Warner Brothers has been making terrible moves on just about anything lately. I mean, they finished. Okay, this is not a video game thing, but they finished Coyote versus Acme. They finished that movie. They canceled it.
They also did Batgirl.
Batgirl, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Coyote versus Acme, they said was done. And they just pulled the plug on it. How do you do that? Why would you do that? That's so stupid. I don't know. Warner
Would it
Brothers.
make it any better if they said meep meep and then pulled the plug?
Anyhow, my other news story. Stupid. I know you're laughing yourself over there. But speaking of other like disasters in the video game,
I'm a disaster, huh?
No. I was talking about the Coyote vs. Acme and the Warner Brothers doing all the Adult Swim games.
Okay.
So yeah. Bungie has replaced their marathon director amid leadership shakeup. They haven't finished Marathon, this game they've been promoting, they've been hyping up, and they switched leaders. They How have people not known this? When you switch up the head of the game in the middle of making the game completely changes.
Yeah, maybe they'll release maybe they'll do a half marathon. Okay, jokes aside.
Seriously, jokes aside. This is just bad. This is just dumb. Like, I wasn't looking forward to Marathon in the first place, and now I'm definitely not looking forward to Marathon.
Yeah. It could be with Sony, too, right? I mean, Sony owns Bungie now, and I've heard that since the acquisition by Sony, Bungie's been kind of floundering, but even before the Sony acquisition, they were kind of floundering. If you think about it, they've had... I mean, Marathon was a success in a small sense on the Mac in the 90s. Then their next big game was Halo, and they made Halo games for Microsoft for a while. And then they made five. I think they... So they made Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, and the...
And 4... Because 5 was a completely different team.
4 was 343 Studios, but they made that,
Halo Wars.
They made the one that was like happening amongst the stuff. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But
Halo Wars, the like StarCraft type one.
No, there's another one that's a first person shooter. I just can't remember the name.
Is there? Oh gosh. Yeah, okay.
At any rate,
there's a lot of them.
Then they left Microsoft, and they've made basically one game since, and that is Destiny.
No, they made Destiny and Destiny 2.
Okay, fine, but I mean, it's a far cry from what they've done in the past. They've basically
it's Destiny, not Far Cry. Far Cry's Ubisoft.
Oh, jeez, man.
See, this is how it's like when I try to give my news stories and you give jokes. Just this is how it feels. How do you like it? How do you like it?
I love it.
Sure.
Keep it coming.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, in theory, in the last 20 years, they've been working on 2 games, and first-person shooters the whole time. Which, I mean, God bless them. They know what they like to make.
Yeah, it's their wheelhouse. Let them do it.
But I think like just 2 IPs that whole time. I mean, it's a lot. It's brain drain. I wonder how much writer's block is going on.
And your next game is literally just a remake.
Yeah. I mean, how much creative control do they really have over there? It's tough to say at this point.
And you're right. It probably has something to do with Sony buying up Bungie, and they're just because the person who's being replaced, it was see if I find his name, Christopher Barrett, longtime Bungie designer.
Yeah.
So he's been with the company for a long time, and now they're replacing him because Sony's cleaning house.
Yeah, and you know what? There's been a lot of layoffs lately.
Yep, they had a bunch of layoffs last year.
Yeah, and there's been more layoffs by Sony. Here's the thing, like, games have been getting more expensive, so there's bigger risks. Everybody wants to hit the live service game. Yep. You know, if you hit on a live service game, you make it's like hitting the lottery. You make a ton of money. But most of them fail, and most have been pulled. And so that's what they've been chasing, and, you know, it's starting to affect them. It's just a shame. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and again, just that constant reminder that we're going to give you, these companies don't care about you.
Yeah.
These companies aren't your friends. They may make the games you enjoy, but they're not your friends. They don't care about you. They want your money, and that's the bottom line.
Pretty much. Speaking of money,
yeah.
If they want to make more money, maybe they should leave the PC and console gaming market and flock to handheld, because apparently there's just an unbelievable amount of money to be made, especially when Monopoly Go, and this comes from Kotaku, spent almost $500 million on marketing. That's not even including the cost of developing the game. That's just marketing. And if you can have a successful game with a $500 million budget, people made a big deal of Spider-Man 2 having a $300 million budget. That's 66% more.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Just in marketing. I mean, I guess if there's any sign that mobile gaming is just absolutely huge, it has to be something like this.
Absolutely.
And, it's Monopoly. It's something everybody knows. It's something that you don't need to really be a hardcore gamer to really even want to play. Everybody knows Monopoly. So there you go.
You know what's funny is I can tell you the top 3 mobile games right now. I can just tell you what they are without even looking at any charts or anything. Monopoly Go, Raid Shadow Legends, and Hero Wars.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hero Wars, the game that advertises itself in a way that shows nothing about what the game has to offer.
Yeah.
It's, oh gosh, notorious. And yet it's still huge.
I just don't do mobile gaming, just not because I think it's bad or anything. I just can't get into it. I'd rather sit down and enjoy a game. But,
right.
it's everybody has a phone. And everybody can, if everybody... it has 100 million downloads. So that means they have to make at least $5 on each person who downloads it. There's whales out there.
Oh, yeah.
And, man.
And that's who they target. They target little kids who can get access to their parents' credit cards.
Yeah,
and
or
whales.
There's people who are whales where they just keep dumping money into something. And it's crazy. But,
and here's the thing. There are 2 types of whales also. There's the whales that are people who work their 9 to 5s. They make a good amount of money. And so they spend it on themselves in a way that they want, by buying cosmetics or games with, stuff they can buy into it,
Yeah.
Okay. I give them their credit. I give them their due. And then there's the people who are literally addicted. Like if it wasn't for mobile gaming or any of these types of extra purchases, they would probably be at a casino or something, losing their money that way.
It's possible.
It's very possible. So, food for thought, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, these live service games and these games that have microtransactions, they are made in a way that preys upon the worst, how do I put it, worst parts of your psyche to get you to spend money.
Absolutely.
So,
and again, that goes back to the earlier statement of these companies don't care about you.
Yeah, true.
So,
do you have any other stories?
I really don't, but do you want to talk about the PS5 Pro?
Yeah, that was what I wanted to end with here.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that you still had that one on your docket.
Yeah, so there's been a leak recently, and then it's been backed up by Digital Foundry lately. The specs for the PS5 Pro, to a large degree, have been leaked. Some of these things are more impressive than others, but here's a rundown of it. The base PS5 has a 8-core 16-thread processor that runs at 3.5 gigahertz. That is based on AMD's Zen 2 architecture. Keep in mind, this architecture was released for PC in 2019, and I should say it was a huge leap over what the PS4 and the Xbox One had. But if it was Zen 3 from the start, it would have been a little bit better. But Zen 2 is still a good architecture. But here's the thing. It's a 10% increase in clock speed on the CPU. very meager. If you want higher frame rates, as long as it's not CPU limited, you're going to be doing good. But if you're playing a game that is CPU limited, like what's the one? Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is a 30 FPS game. This clock speed increase is not going to get you to 60, that's for sure. So unfortunately, very, very weak on the CPU side as far as an increase is concerned.
Yeah.
Now, the compute units for the GPU, that's not been confirmed how many there are yet, but there are 36 compute units on the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's rumored to be 60 on the PS5 Pro. The difference here is that the architecture behind the graphics engine is more advanced in the PS5 Pro. They used RDNA 2 architecture with the original PS5. The PS5 Pro is rumored, or at least should be, using RDNA 3, so a whole generation forward. And they've also done tweaks to it to give some backwards compatibility from RDNA 4, so it supports a few RDNA 4 features. Now, teraflop numbers are between architectures are not something you can really compare directly. The PS5 base has a 10.23 teraflop GPU unit, and the new one is going to be 33.5, but Sony is saying that you should expect somewhere around a 40% increase in GPU compute power compared to the original PS5, which is a better increase than the CPU. It's also not the leap that we saw from PS4 to PS4 Pro, so there's some disappointment there too. I think they needed a much bigger leap than this to be a lot more impressive from like a GPU compute perspective. Now, that 40% number is just rasterization, which is your traditional 3D graphics that we've all been playing since 3D graphics were really on the PlayStation. So PlayStation and Sega Saturn and all that kind of stuff that came around.
So for anybody who's that terminology just kind of like flew over your heads, I'm going to take this line from IGN. To sum it up, the PS5 Pro is more powerful than the PS5, with a faster CPU and GPU, better ray tracing, and upscaling capabilities. Period.
Yeah, I was going to get to the ray tracing and everything like that.
I'm sorry, I thought you said that somewhere in there. I heard a lot of stuff, so I figured for people who were kind of lost, I wanted to give that statement. So go ahead, keep going.
Suffice it to say, like, that's why I said it was like a 40% increase in raw compute, but that's 40% in traditional graphics, traditional 3D graphics, we'll call it that. For ray tracing and like newer graphics technologies, it's rumored to be a 2 to 4 time increase, or 4x increase. So how is that going to be deployed? Who knows? And you know what? Ray tracing is much more intensive on CPU power, so how much of it's actually going to be able to be leveraged is suspect when you only increase the CPU power 10%. So we'll see. Who knows? The other thing, too, is it stays at 16 gigabytes of memory. It doesn't increase the memory from the base PS5, but what it does do is it increases the bandwidth of that memory, meaning the GPU has access to a faster cache of memory, so that's good. About 25% increase there.
Yeah. You know what also doesn't change? The hardware size, the hard drive size.
That's true.
The internal hard drive is still going to be 1 terabyte SSD.
Now, as far so the last thing I want to talk about is like, I guess, like the secret sauce, if you want to say so, of the PS5 Pro. Sony is calling it PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, and without getting into too much detail, it is an upscaling technology that is like NVIDIA's DLSS and AMD's FSR, but it uses machine learning to get there, AI if you want to call it that. And it's more, so it's more similar to NVIDIA's DLSS than it is to FSR, which is a software-based solution. NVIDIA's is a hardware-based solution. Sony's PS5 Pro is going to have a hardware-based solution. And so we'll see how that comes along. Typically speaking, though, the hardware-based solution is going to be superior to your software-based solution. It's just when you have hardware that has a dedicated block to accelerate those tasks, it's going to be superior than running it just generally on all the compute units. Mm-hmm. So I've heard it's going to be better. It should be really good. Overall, it's going to be just a fairly mild upgrade over the PS5. If you have a PS5 and you don't want to spend the money, which is rumored to be $600 at this point, but no one knows for sure, I would just sit tight with your PS5. I mean, I don't know how much you really need to upgrade it.
That was actually going to be my question for you, was if you would recommend this for somebody who already has it or does not have it.
If you do not have it, probably go with the Pro. If you have a PlayStation 5 and desire to upgrade, then upgrade. I mean, people upgrade their phone every 2 or 3 years at this point. I mean, a video game console compared to that is still cheaper to upgrade.
That's true.
So, granted, you can't do as many things with your game console as you can with your phone, but setting all that aside...
For now.
Yes. When I can pick up my game console and I pick up my PlayStation 5, all the big honking chunk that it is.
Put it up next to your head. Hello? Hi, Grandma. I'm talking to you on my PS5.
There you go. I think it's going to be exciting. I will personally get it because my wife, for one, wants to play the Final Fantasy games, and she typically plays in a different room. And
so you can now hand off your PS5 to her, and
and she can play the Final Fantasy games. So I will be getting it.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's that. That's the big thing to end the video with.
Awesome. Well,
or end the podcast with. Jeez, video.
Well, it is a video. I mean, we're gonna get there. We are actually. Let's talk about that. We're going to be making some changes here. Yes. Nothing major. Maybe not. But we do want to get a audio only version of this out, and we want to get a video version out so that you guys can look at more than just my really cool parallax scrolling background that I put so much work into. Yeah, I'm not bitter.
It looks great. What are you talking about?
I know it looks great. I worked very hard on that. That took me a very long time. It was a pain in the butt. It was a pain in the butt.
I've worked on that for 10 minutes. Boom. That's what he's going to say. Don't listen to anything else.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you worked. I was like, I will slap you. I'm going to find you and slap you. No, but we're looking at doing some video upgrades as well. So, just stay with us. Keep tuning in and checking in on us, and we'll keep telling you all this fun stuff about what's going on with us. So let's do the official bonus bit. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the little bell for notifications. It really helps us out.
Yeah.
There, I did that. Yeah. Just do do what you're comfortable with, but we like having people in the community. We want to keep building the community. We're slowly building the community, but we're just appreciative for every single one of you showing up. So thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we're going to get out of here. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Have yourselves a fantastic week, and enjoy your games.
Later.
Until then, would you bye.
Is that the end?
It is now.